daybreak, and we are here to start off your morning. That is, of course, giving you what you should be expecting as of today, and also therein after breaking down for you one of the biggest topics that are in the country. My name is Bruce Mugabi, and we will be rolling with the news highlights in a few seconds. But for the people that would like to travel to work, as they're catching us live, they can you can watch live on our Facebook page, that is BTMTV in capital letters. You'll be getting us live and clear, and of course taking a look at what is currently transpiring and what is the biggest headline that you can expect as the day will be going forward. Now we begin, of course, with the news highlights, and here we look at some of the stories that are shaping up the world of news, the world of current affairs, economics, and also therein to deal with your social life. But the biggest highlight that is coming in as we speak right now is the leader of opposition, Matthias Mpuga, who is now disagreeing with the party position of the National Unity Platform. That is in regard to the amendments they did make in their constitution. Now, when you look at the amendments that were made in this constitution, and that was just a few weeks back, the National Unity Platform Party now proposes that members of parliament should be holding those seats for a period of just 2 terms, and this will be effective next term. Now, we have members of the National Unity Platform who've been in parliament for now their 2nd term, and we understand that with this now coming into place, they will have to, of course, go in for more 2 terms, or even depending on what the voters do decide, if to take them back to parliament or maybe withdraw them, that is by not voting for them. But there have been very many. There has been a lot of criticism when it comes to these new amendments, and we saw there in political analysts saying that this is going to be breaking down the party more and more, because you understand that there are leaders who crossed. There could be some leaders who crossed to the National Unity Platform to just maintain their seats, just because the party was the youngest political party in Uganda. And this did not differentiate a lot from the statements of the leader of opposition, Matthias Mpuga, who says that by the time these new amendments were passed, he was out of the country, and that was on official business, as he was in meetings with the World Bank. Now, Mpuga says, of course, he does not blame anyone for not being notified about the meeting, or maybe him attending the meeting, because he was really unable. But then he gave his position, and he says the party still needs some of these experienced leaders in the party to be able to steer the wheel, and that is if at all they want to oust the ruling National Unity, the ruling National Resistance Movement, that is the NRM party. Now, with, of course, looking at some of the new amendments, we understand that the party says that if you're not going back to parliament, that is after your 2-year term, you're not supposed to be going to back to parliament. What you can do is maybe venture into any other leadership position in the party, or maybe elsewhere, but then not parliament. Well, Matthias Mpuga does deviate from the position of the National Unity Platform. What does this mean for the party? Because it is the youngest political party. It is a party that is leading the opposition just out of being brand new and taking on the leader of opposition in parliament. And now we understand that, of course, this is a little bit going to be shaking the foundations of the party, because Matthias Mpuga is one of the strong pillars when it comes to the National Unity Platform. Well, we do understand that his term as the leader of opposition, as we expect a few amendments to come in there, that is, as we come to at least 2.5 years in that office of Matthias Mpuga, we expect the National Unity Platform to make some amendments there in front. So we are hoping to see what will be transpiring, because this is one of the events that will be shaping up the decision of the top party leadership when it comes to either retaining Matthias Mpuga as the leader of opposition, or maybe, changing and putting in there another candidate. We have the likes of Lubega Medad Segwana. We have the chief whip, that is John Baptist Nambeshe. We have the likes of Joe Seyonyi. We have the likes of we have several strong pillars when it comes to the national unity platform, but we await to see if these happenings will be shaping up what will be transpiring, what will be happening in there, as there happens to be a cabinet reshuffle. Now, still, of course, in the news highlights, I would not like to dwell a lot when it comes to the national unity platform, because those are matters that we'll continue to bring to you in our subsequent bulletins. That is aside from what the students that are affiliated to the party yesterday also coming out and giving government and also the UPDF an ultimatum of a period of 2 weeks to do something about the Karamoja insecurity, or else they will be taking it to the streets, as they do quote that Chapter 4 of the Constitution does give them the mandate to demonstrate peacefully, and that is, of course, a way on how they can air out their views. But of course, I would like to advise them that the Public Order Management Act is also in place, and you need to abide by that, because if not, then you could face it rough with some of the people in there. That is, the police could try to come in there to stop what you are planning to do. Yeah, those are the images that did come in yesterday from the National Unity Platform Party headquarters, as some of the images were displayed of how people are being killed, or how people are being injured. You can see some of them bow arrows are in their faces, in their cheeks. We've seen people who have been shot by the Karamojong and people who are trying to wrestle. And we understand that as we speak right about now, we've seen at least, these extend to areas of Acholi and Teso sub-region, from the Karamoja sub-region to now Teso to now Acholi. And of course, this is a big issue that the UPDF is also now putting a lot of emphasis on, because according to the UPDF spokesperson, they are going to be reprimanding some of the army commanders who have failed, to do their job. That is, of course, when it comes to keeping the area secure, when it comes to doing some bit of patrols in the areas, that is most especially at night, because we understand that these the people that are rooting, the people that are rustling the animals have made it a tendency of attacking in the night. Well, of course, we did see comments from some of the, the UPDF in there saying that they failed to operate at night, as in some of the wee hours of the night, they would need to have night vision equipment, which is not readily available. But then the spokesperson of the UPDF did say that not every night, is always dark. So that is a lame excuse that the UPDF commanders would be giving there, and that would, of course, give momentum to the words, or maybe the position of the Karamoja students that hailing from that area and seeing their families, seeing their relatives also being tortured, being killed, being wounded. That is something that is troubling and could be traumatisome. Well, of course, we understand that there is also another kraal that was rooted. That is a kraal that was being guarded. This is quite it was being guarded by the UPDF, but then the cattle rustlers managed to come and take 10 cows from the kraal. Now you can imagine if they're stealing from the people that are supposed to be giving security, that are supposed to be protecting people, giving them hope, are also being stolen from. It does create a situation of wanting. It does create a situation of insecurity, of fear among the people of Karamoja, and of course there we call in the UPDF to strengthen the security there and make sure that the people are secure, because that is the role of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. But of course, kudos for the work so far that has been done But when such an incident happens, it does ruin all the work that has been done already. You can imagine you're the people that are keeping security, but then in the area that you are keeping security in, they are now stealing from you. Now that is what is currently happening when it comes to the Karamoja sub-region, when it comes to the updates that are coming in from the insecurity that is roaming around the Karamoja sub-region, as it has now extended to other sub-regions that are near, and that is of course we understand we have the regions of Acholi, Teso. We also have Lango in there. But of course, we'll be giving you all the updates as they continue to come in. Now, still in the news highlights, we did experience another strike of the medics that was yesterday. Now, these intern doctors, I know my producer will be giving me a little bit of, the images there are there now. Those are intern doctors, and those are the activities that transpired yesterday as they were protesting, that is the delay of them being posted in hospitals to provide their medical services, to provide their services. We understand that the Ministry of Health did release a letter that was, entailing how they are unable to deploy intern doctors in hospitals as we speak, because there is not enough money to facilitate the activities, or to facilitate them as they do render their activities. Now, when you go to Mulago Hospital, for example, or when you go to any regional referral hospital, you cannot fail to notice an intern doctor. Now, these are the doctors that are being given the donkey work, and we understand that these dominate all the activities that do transpire in the hospitals. They attend to the patients. Others do engage when it comes to theater matters, and they're the people that have really contributed a lot to the health sector of Uganda. And I can tell you that we cannot do without the intern doctors. Now, this of course has created a little bit of space when it comes to the hospitals, as we understand that some patients are going unattended to, some patients are taking long to be attended to, some patients are also dying. Now, they were of course marching to Parliament as they were chanting, patients are dying, and that is a call that they were putting out to the public, and that is a message that should also communicate to some of the leaders that we have in the country, because it is their role to make sure that they do provide a good and safe healthy environment. The health sector should be revamped, should be made strong, because we understand disease, we understand sickness is something that cannot miss in the community. And they were bundled onto the police trucks. We understand over 30 people, or over 30 medical interns were arrested yesterday and were being held at the Kampala Central Police Station. And we understand that this did show a little bit of solidarity, as some of them were arrested by police. We saw all of them, ram into the police patrol vehicles and say, arrest all of us, because this is an issue that, concerns all the medical interns. You can see them there holding their hands as, they're nodding their heads and showing that they are strong. So those are some of the images that did come in yesterday from the medical interns march or demonstration. You can also call it a strike, and those are medical interns in there. Well, of course, you can see how some of them are being held. Some of them are being held there, and that is not. It is something that is condemned, but well, good enough. The pictures are there, and maybe justice will be served at one point in time when it comes in there. Now, away from the medical interns, we still have, some big stories that are still shaping up the day, but we understand that today we'll be expecting, that is the IGG of the Republic of Uganda, that is Honorable Betty Kamia. She will be addressing journalists today, and she will be giving updates when it comes to declaration of assets by public servants. We are, eager to see, how this process did transpire. We are eager to see how this process happened, and so far, how have they, managed to, finalize with the process. Now, we understand when it came to this process, we saw some leaders, and that was in, upcountry districts, the likes of Fort Portal, the likes of, Karamoja, the likes of Kaware, that, are seeing the declaration of assets as, I would say in courts, as a wastage of time to them. But this is a process that is required by the laws of Uganda, specifically the Public Service Act. And we understand they are supposed to be declaring their assets. Now, with those, giving in their, comments, giving in their excuses, and, some of them even having nothing to declare, because we understand that, some of the public servants are paid, poorly, and, because we've seen on several occasions, for example, you're seeing the doctors, they are striking, and, some of these did, comment, and most especially the teachers, I have one goat, I have one hen, should I declare the hen and the goat? That is all I have. So we are waiting to see what the Inspector General of Government, the IGG Betty Kamya, will be saying there, because this is one of the ways that we can fight corruption in Uganda. And according to the recent IGG's report, Uganda is losing at least about 11 billion Uganda shillings annually when it comes to corruption tendencies. This, of course, enjoins us with the recent Karamoja saga, which some of the Ugandans are now saying is, a staged act, trying to, create a political image, a good political image for the NRM government to fight corruption. But I think it is good that we are seeing some ministers being charged already. And according to the Director of Public Prosecutions, that is Jen Francis Abodo, she did make comments yesterday, and according to Abodo, she says that they are going to be concluding the investigations when it comes to the earn sheet issues. By the time this week ends, they will be done with the investigations. Well, we don't know if we're going to be seeing more ministers being arrested, or maybe more ministers being charged and prosecuted in the courts of law, because we've so far seen 3, but we understand that at least 20 ministers in the government were implicated, and at least 30 members of parliament are also implicated in there, and this does include, other government officials, the, cows on district levels. We understand, some head teachers, some schools are also, maybe could be cocooning to, steal from the Karamoja Karachunas. But, according to the DPP's office, the investigations will be done. I don't know, should we expect some, new arrests to be done? Should we expect to see at least more ministers being charged? Because the ones that have so far been arrested were, it seems to be, on a basis of all the statements made by the other ministers seem to be similar, because they say, I was called in a cabinet meeting. After a cabinet meeting, as I was moving out, we did see that coming in from, Rebecca Kadaga, Honorable, the former Speaker of Parliament. She did make such a comment that is how she was invited to get. And several ministers have given the same, facts. They are recounting the same facts. So we can await to see what will be transpiring when it comes to those matters. But of course, one of the biggest stories that is also, shaping up the headlines is we understand that in 2018 we did lose the DPC of Buyende district, and that was Mohammed Chirumira. Now, yesterday, the court of law did acquit, the suspect, or the person that was being charged with the killing of, the fallen soldier, that is Mohammed Chirumira, and, the friend who happened to be a lady that they were traveling together in a car, and that was around the areas of the areas of Nankwade, that road that leads to Nankwade, around there. That is where they were shot dead. And we understand that the courts of law did punch in holes into the statements that were given by the prosecution, and that was of course government in that case, saying the evidence that was produced could have been obtained under duress, because we did see the judge note that the statement that was made by the suspect, who was now acquitted yesterday, the way the statement was written in English, yet the gentleman does not even understand any word when it comes to English. And he spoke about his fingerprint, which in this case acts as a signature or acts as an affirmation that the statement was penned down or was said by the suspect. No, it happened to be as that of a person who has been tortured to attain it. That is according to the statements of the judge as she was reading the judgment, which took at least about 3 hours of reading that judgment. And of course it did attract a little bit of happiness when it came to the relatives of the suspect that was being charged in this case. Now, we did see, we can call it justice being served there, but the prosecution still has, an opening to appeal, the happenings in this case, and maybe they will be appealing, but we can wait to see what, this will be, doing. Now, we cross a little bit to the borders as my brother MC Chie is also almost coming on board with the entertainment news. But what is happening currently, I'll give you an update when it comes to the Sudan. We are experiencing a conflict in there, and this did escalate from the capital, that is Khartoum. But good news coming in for Uganda is that at least 208 Ugandans are being evacuated. And yesterday we did see buses with Ugandan flags leaving Khartoum, and these were carrying Ugandans that are being repatriated back to Uganda for their safety. And of course, kudos to the good job being done there by the Ministry of External Affairs and the government of the Republic of Uganda. However, of course, there are some Ugandans who do remain in Sudan, because we understand we had about over 300 Ugandans, and some of them were unable to reach the buses that were evacuating others, because the areas that they are staying in are the areas where now the scuffle has escalated, where the gunshots are continuously happening, because we understand that other countries, the United Nations, are continuously condemning the actions of these two groups in Sudan that are continuously having conflicts and fighting between each other, and they've continuously called for peace between these two camps. Now, we will be, of course, giving you all the updates as they do come in, but many people are losing their lives in this conflict, and we also condemn the actions. We just would have to call for peace to prevail when it comes to Sudan. Now, my brother MC Chie is already on board and ready to take you in for a dose of entertainment, and I'll be calling it quits in just a few seconds there. And of course, at the top of the hour, we're expecting to be now dissecting matters of the anti-homosexuality bill. But then this is a deeper perspective. This is a perspective that you cannot afford to miss, as we'll be internalizing on the recent happenings, or the recent arrival that we've now had as Uganda when it comes to this bill. And we'll be, of course, privileged to host a lawyer that will be breaking down that for us just at the top of the hour. But for now, have a good morning. MC Chie is up next.
Are you looking for a one-stop center to host your conference or meeting, wedding parties, workshops or seminars? Tobani Conference Center has the perfect modern space for your event. We have spacious outdoor and indoor space to accommodate over 1,000 and below 150 people, offering free lighting, LED screens, free sound system, free chairs, free Wi-Fi, and secure basement parking space. Drop by at Cafe at 2 and we will be at your service with our finest coffee, espresso, cappuccino, and cafe latte. Enjoy incredibly delicious meals, grab a milkshake or a cocktail juice. Only at Cafe at 2. And that's not all. We have the latest video games for the game lovers. We are located in the city center at the Tobani. Are you looking for a one-stop center to host your conference or meeting, wedding parties, workshops or seminars? Tobani Conference Center has the perfect modern space for your event. We have spacious outdoor and indoor space to accommodate over 1,000 and below 150 people, offering free lighting, LED screens, free sound system, free chairs, free Wi-Fi, and secure basement parking space. Drop by at Cafe at 2 and we will be at your service with our finest coffee, espresso, cappuccino, and cafe latte. Enjoy incredibly delicious meals, grab a milkshake or a cocktail juice. Only at Cafe at 2. And that's not all. We have the latest video games for the game lovers. We are located in the city center at the Tobani Center Building Level 2 along Ginger Road opposite DFCU Bank. For more information and bookings, call 0772 307875 or 0750 647486. Tobani Conference Center, the place to be.
All right, a lovely morning, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're catching us live, feel welcome to yet another episode of The Day Break. Olunako Rwadero. It happens to be a 27th yet. Omanyima naye naku zituvuga speed oba tokebera kalende bisere bisinga. Oyinza okumalirizanga oyokyezanga osubiddwa omukolo gwe bali bakuyitako. Enkuba etonya nojula okwagala okwebaka noga oba nsibe mu buliri. Of course, welcome to the show nako lwaleero mugamba mutyango kyali ewaka odya opoye owulire oyagala kugenda kola naye embeera tetegerekeka owulire oba obiveeko. We have to hustle. If we hustle oba okitegeera nkwaliriza nnyo olunaku gamachaga olunaku agwaleero ena gye musiziza okubeeranga mu Love Live. MC Chie is my name, Vibes King, GhettoCorporate.com. Taking around the news, what transpired, of course, nadala over the weekend, nonako Radio Monday, twagala okulabikira ddala nga tugenda mu maaso twongere okulabika nti tu jabula. Now, twayongedde okulabika nti tufunako Eddie Kenzo. You know Eddie Kenzo is one of those cream top Ugandan artists. Oba okitegeera. Era oba oyagala okulabika nti oyagala kuwulira ku bayimbi abamu aboogera abantu tebawulira. Edirisa Musuuza nga bakakuba mabega nga bakava mu kisiibo. Eddie Kenzo yasobodde okulabika nti avayo nayogerako eri eggwanga ng'ayogera okulabika nti annyonnyola mu mbeera gye bayisizaamu, ekisiibo kye bayisizaamu, embeera eriwo kati na biki ebiddako. Naye Eddie Kenzo oyo omusajja omu ndowooza kuba n'abasajja babadde nga basiibanga bwe butuuka ssaawa 7 awo ennamusedda ku nnyooge Luganda ndowooza olutuufu ng'ebintu tebitambulira ddala bulungi. Eddie Kenzo era nga yayongedde okwebaza ku bakozi be bakola nabo be babadde bamu abamusiibirako bannaye Mukama Katonda kola ssente bweyagale okusiibirako omugagga bamusiibirako omwanvu n'asiiba n'ekikye osiiba emirundi ebiri omwanvu ganooza ayinza okusiiba n'asula n'okusula n'akuba ddabu oba eyo gye bayita dry. Eddie Kenzo yavuddeyo n'ayongera okulayika nti anoganya ne ku nsonga y'aba big 3 n'agamba omuntu avayo n'agamba nti manya nze ndi namba gundi omuntu oyo taba mwangu ebiseera ebisinga ayinza omaliriza akoze n'ebitasaana takyayagala kunamba naye banaye principle yayiwa amazzi mu kintu ky'ennamba ndoza kati twavaamu ku big 3 tuli ku big 2 kubanga kakati omusajja yabejjemu n'agamba nze kanve wano nze sibaliimu abasajja babaddewo ba Hamani basudde abasajja babaddewo ba Eli Wamala fire bongole lutayo fayo tya n'ogamba nti muli ba big 3 omukulu ono n'ayongera n'okunoganya ku nsonga za Miss Uganda ebiseera ebisinga muvayo ne mugamba Eddie Kenzo Miss Uganda ono aliko yandibanga yaddako okuwoowebwa ye yaddira Rema mu bigere naye nga naye agamba si kibi wemubanga mumwagaliza mumuteerewo naye nga ye saawa zino fast now si kibi okubeera nga supportinga Miss Uganda ogendera ddala mu maaso soko tuwa ku Eddie Kenzo gatstrike entudda ku kiddako
yakabi
obulamu bulungi
massive
kitambudde kitya kuba kati
bulungi
omwezi mulamba nga tusiiba nga teri performing abantu balisiibinze otya
abantu balungi nnyo abantu bakola bulungi emirimu gyabwe abantu basiibye abantu beeyagala n'abatasiiba basupportinze abasiiba ekintu kitambudde bulungi nze wange ku office benkozesa abatali basiraamu ate ndowooza bangi nnyo naye batusiibiddeko kagana owulira essanyu nga likutte
waliwo bulijjo tukunoonya musiraamu tulina ensonga gye twagala okiralifayinga naddala ku bantu abawagizi bo okuba nti nno abantu lwaki bagamba nti olinamu omukono ku mwana gwe bayita Hana Miss Uganda
ate kiba kibi kiba kibi okubamu omukono gutya ogw'okumuwagira
balowooza nti oba gwe tugenda okuwoowa oba yaddako abantu webabyogera
bw'oba omunjagaliza munfunire
owanjisebo
omunjagaliza munfunire alaikum salaam musajja ntoledde salaam omusajja babitegeera yangu yanyina show nziruka walaikum salaam dia abantu bawulidde baja
yavaayo n'agamba nti nali mu mbeera mbi yetaaga kuyambibwa era abantu babadde ayita okoola Eddie Kenzo musuuza
didi nze nkolagana naye era ndowooza nali muwaddeko obuyambi bw'aba ayogedde amazima nali mutuukiriddeko era ne twogeramu n'ebizibu bya didi byetaagisa kukwataganya na buli muntu yenna aliyo buli muntu osobola omutuukira n'oyogerako naye to know what is going on really exactly and see how we can help him as a country, as all of us aba ndyagadde okumulanga ali on his 2 feet
kubanga ye okusinziira mu statement ze mu bantu basinga okoola agamba Eddie Kenzo bakoko finger
tegeera sometimes wabaawo ebizibu nga ne sente oluusi tezinza bimala naye
abayimbi abasinga tebavuddeyo kumudduukirira because ate nga yakolako nabo bakolako naye n'abakubira hiti
naye era ebiseera ebisinga toyinza kuddawo n'okondeminga muntu ekintu kyonna ebiseera ebisinga okuyamba kubeera kwa kyeyagalire ebiseera ebisinga abantu kyetaaga n'obabuuza bulungi not blaming game, it doesn't work.
Okay.
Secho?
Yes. Nga tukuta utabikoli ku speed, ekintu ky'abayimbi abantu bagamba kati gwe namba emu mu ggwanga Uganda. Bagamba gwe kemaliriza.
Gwogamba ki?
Banaye kemalirize.
Gwogamba ki?
Bagamba.
Gwogamba ki?
Nze mpereza abantu.
Gwogamba ki?
Nze ngamba.
Gwogamba ki?
Namba emu.
Achecho. Babutakyogera badde ngeza naye nga anyway, it's not about that.
Yes.
It's all about nze bibye namba sibiriko nnyo. It's all about doing a good job for the fans. Ne banyumirwa. Manye ebintu ebyo by'okulwanira namba si birungi bulabo omuntu alwanira namba bagenda kuba ekikona abalala. Kubanga omuntu wabanga gamba nti nze ndi kino ndi generator ndi biki simanyi ndi bino kiba kitegeza agenda kulwana okubeera mu position eyo awo ayinza okukoleramu ebintu ebitali birungi nga alwanyisa abalala so ebyennamba si kyekikulu nze ndowooza twandikoledde abawagizi omulimo bo ne batuwa ennamba
Kamiliyoni yabadde ku stage n'agamba nti kati ennyimba zonna bye baakola babisanguddeyo baddemu buto
sijja kuddaawo omanyi nze mpanya abantu ebitiibwa
That is Eddie Kenzo for you. Ngayongera okunoganya naddala when it comes to some of the things that are taking rounds of news nebimu ebiri concerned about him. One of the crucial things I know most importantly kyesagala kwerabira utunulira omusajja producer Didi Eddie Kenzo gwabadde ayogerako. Producer Didi y'omu ku abasobodde okulabika nti generating a generation of artists. Yes, and up to now they are still the relevant artists from back the times obwekitegera kuva ku Coco Finger, Eddie Kenzo, abayimbi bangi awo there is that generation Eddie Kenzo, Coco Finger. Producer Didi was one of the baddest killer producer obwekitegera naye ng'embeera yesi nnungi bamusibako yagenda nakuba oluyimba lw'omuwala bamuyita Panado oluyimba olwo nzijukira nnyo gaye Minister Lokodo ne bamugamba kikuwayo endani. Away from that, moving on, nga tugendera ddala maaso omusajja none other than Gulned, omusajja asasobodde okulabika nti akuuma abakyala b'e Kampala. Yes, from the reliable sources of Mama Queen Bad Black. Omusajja naye waliwo n'abayimbi boyinza okugamba nti bano bali established be basobola okulabika nti bakola ekintu ekigenda ddala mu maaso. Naye abayimbi abo batuuse ku level agamba nti nze saagala kuntegeka, nze nsobola okwetegeka oba okitegeera, nsobola okwetegeka saagala kwetegeka. Abayimbi nga ziza bafaana nayimira n'agamba promota mugende mutegeka ebijanjaalo omma mu promotinga nnyo. Naye kati at this stage bafaana yetuuse okubeera nga yekola ki nga yetegeka nakubanga dancehall carnival. Kakati ye Gulned agaba naye emirimu tegikyaliwo tamanyi kiki kigenda mu maaso naye bookings ntini naye nga ate hit yazirina oba okitegeera. So Mr. Mubanda nono tunajjukira nti yava mu TNS. TNS manyi kiki kigenda mu maaso kubanga ennaku zino buli omu adduka avaayo naye nga omusajja yavudde n'alyoka agamba buli okuvaayo mu TNS buli omu alina ensonga ye naye ye ng'omuntu asinga kutegeera zitayagala kumubuuza ku byabalala. So omusajja ono bintu bingi ebibadde bigendera ddala mu maaso abaddeko n'embiranyeko ne bamu ku bakyalibe Atiman Doki, but of course olunaku olwaleero yasobodde okulabika nti avayo nayongera okulabika nti ataanya ku nsonga ezimu ezigendera ddala mu maaso around him and the industry. Let's take a look at man himself, the Mr. Caretaker of Mama's Kampala.
Ndowooza some people bakitwala oba batya naye nga always kachogere nga advised everyone out there, always be proud of what you did yesterday or what you're doing. You understand? Always be proud. Always be proud of, be proud of doing anything you're doing. So I'm always proud of doing anything I'm doing. Yes. Yeah, man.
Okumatino go avayo gundi yavayo pinky n'abasigadde abamu buzibuli ku management.
To be honest, like simanyi nsobiza abantu simanyi omuntu kyakola naye n'okwawukana kibaawo mu bulamu si kipya naye nga kyomanya nobody tewali ayawukana for no reason okitegeera. Yeah, man.
Tuzze tukulaba ennaku zino nga ovuga ssebo olina new rides zokka olina tukulaba mu benzi
wali oyagala ntambuza ebigere gwe kikiyagala kikyoyanjagaza okundabako. Yeah, man, bondaba nga nina achievement gyentuuseeko just bwera ngonjagaliza gamba Allah yeebale omwana oyo alina waatuuse kubeera gyenvudde olabayo. Baagala njagala basajja nze abakazi mbaagala kuba sigenda kwagala musajja munnange. Yeah, period. Me, I love ladies and that's it. Era owulira era ne government era lwanyisa ki naye nga kyomanya me I'm a ladies man and I love ladies, man. Yeah, man, nothing is sweeter than a lady, bruv. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Ebivulu amazima tetufuna bivulu bingi ge mazima. Simanyi what's going on. Omuntu asobola n'okubookinga n'ogenda otuukayo ku show ye ku lunaku lwa show nga show ye bagisazizaamu. So whatever is going on, I don't know what's going on, but they should, ban it by choose.
Okay, that is Gulned official for you. When it comes to matters that get to concern about him, and of course the entire entertainment industry, because what we have been over the music crews or groups that that came to stay. Team No Sleep. Team No Sleep is literally the father of the industry kubanga weyogera ku team no sleep wadde abayimbi bazze bajja bavaamu ojja kutunuulira nga Jeff Chiwa azadde okuva ddala ku Dr. Jose Chameleone azadde okuva ku Good Life Radio and Wizo Manizo azadde basajja nga omukyala Shiba Kalungi AK47 Palaso abayimbi bangi omenyani olekani but of course the money is there to stay. Jeff Chiwa, of course, greetings to Alan Chiwa. But of course, away from that, when it comes to one of the solist R&B ultimate vocalist, none other than omukulu Jamie Culture. Jamie Culture yomuvubuka abamu kubasinze wano okulabika nti bayimba love music, and if you know, you know. Kubanga music wana kyasinze okubeera ddala ow'omukwano. Kituufu we have a new wave of fresh artists, cleanest artists nga wonalaba abavubuka nga Bavairota, wonalaba ba Unknown, wonalaba ba Liam Voice, wonalaba abavubuka nga ba Walter White, ba Dinaro OG, but of course waliwo regime eri kati Jamie Culture is in that regime onagamba nti basajja bamu abakubye sweet music nga wonaba Little Boss, that is their caliber. Obo kitegera their R&B is their caliber, but their generation. So, Jamie Culture mbera sinungi, fena tumumanyi, musajja wa bintu wa bya buwangwa. Akiririza nnyo mujjajja bamu. Naye embera mabega kawo balira bamutwala ko mu rehab, nga bagamba nti omukulu ono mentally is not okay because of some drugs. Nagenda ko mu rehab nakomawo nga tulaba like the guy is fine, he's so fit now, he's back on the road, but along the way esawa zino bikwano gye javudde ne gigaba naye ate embeera yasajjuse Jamie Culture oba sengatta ogenda kwesanga nti ngatto ate agitutte mu kabuyonjo kwegamba ebintu si birungi, but of course bamafiina tukowoola omulanga tukowoola ne bajjajja abali side eyo mu mbuga basobole okulabika nti baddukirira bayambe ku none other than omukulu Jamie Culture. Katumufuneko ku bigambo ebigambibwa ebimukwatako tulabike tukomawo turapinga up.
Jamie chali waffe tubeera naye wano obudde obusinga era tulya naye bwe tuba ku vibinga music obudde obw'olweggulo era tuvibinga naye mu mbeera emu oba endala lwakuba naffe era byatusobako embeera ze zaalimu zayawukanamu n'ako obuntu embeera gyalimu ddala yeetaaga kuyambibwa kubanga ekitone kyalina kyamaanyi nnyo tulina golodi naye ffe golodi naffe atulemerera okuhandolinga oluusi tugezaako ne tugamba nti owaye leero tukole kino nagamba nakyankala n'obaoliawo nga kutte ekyokulabirako ng'engatto oyinza okuba nga olese wano engatto oyingidde mu studio ogenze kukola ate ogenda okudda ofulumemu wabweru relaxingemu engatto togiraba mutoyi simanyi oba ekibikyamu kye kyonna ekyamutuukako kyasibira mu ttooyi buli kimu kyonna kisuula mu ttooyi ayinza okukikwata no n'akubuzaabuza nti oba n'ogamba nti oba akirina n'akizaawo naye bulungulula mu ddakiika 2 nakkirira amanga embeera eno etwalidde nno ddala ebbanga kubanga bagezaako kubanga mukulu Research ne dokita okukibaati bamukwasaganya omutwalako ewaka ate nayo nebirema n'avaayo baba bamutuusizza bano ate bannadda Kampala ne bagamba waaye ono naye ali eno kuba mu njogera gyayogera ayagala nnyo ebintu by'abajjajja amando ansozisozi eyo ogenda kwetereeza so ekituufu kiri nti alina kwetereeza ebimwogererako biraga nti alina kgenda n'abaako by'anaaba n'anaaba oba yes ne bamulwanako kubanga bamama Fina gye bali mama Fina bobeerayo ng'omanyi nti Jamie Culture is a Ugandan musician ng'ate ayimba bulungi lwaki mama Fina guno omulanga toguwulira n'otuyambako ku Jamie Culture kubanga Jamie Culture is our gold.
Jamie yembeera gy'alimu etiisa yeetaaga okuyambibwa obuyambi nga bw'amaanyi kuba bamuyambyeko bamututteko mu abo bamututteko mu kyalo byonna byonna babikoze naye nga bikoze kibiganye kuba Jamie si mulalu nti yanywa njaga nti oba yavaako nti oba yali amayirungi nti oba yanywa mwenge Jamie waliwo ekitali kituufu waliwo wabanga mulamu waliwo ne wabanga takola ki waliwo olunaku olukyanga lwakuwandiika nakuba mapu okuva wano n'okutuuka eri nga kuba bukubi mapu nakulaga nti wano kabaka nakulaga biki bingi byakola ki byakunnyonnyola kati eggulo waliwo yava wano eno waliwo producer wano Dalson yali azidde mu ngatto zaawo ng'azambadde aba yakagira wano ti kukyuka enkyuka bbiri engatto n'azikola ki kati gwe tuba tuli wano ku makya bwe yayambuka Afrikana n'amukubira essimu ekiro yakedde kujja wano ku makya najja ne Saamu kati Saamu ate agenda otulaga essimu ng'ate mu kizungu yasimye entaana nga nnene entaana oyo yamaze ogisima n'agizimba bulungi.
Okay, those are the friends around omukulu Jamie Culture. Naye we bibanga embeera yekyali yemu eya Jamie Culture yamutwaza mu rehab si kirungi nnyo naddala abantu abamwetooloddemuko. Yeah, I don't think it's so cool. Naddala embeera nga bakyali abamuli okumpi mwenna nga mumanye ekigenda mu maaso naye nga temukola ki katusuubire si biragalalagala kubanga ffe wano ku BTM as we transform tuvumirira ne se kuvumirira ebiragalalagala. Now